Our world was dying, poisoned by our own hand, by our greed and hatred. From our desperation, the airships were born, and through them we found salvation. We fled across the seas, tens of thousands of us, in search of a new land. Through wind and rain, through sun and storm, we found not a new land, but a whole new world. A world where great mechanical beasts roamed the land. A world of floating islands and mighty volcanoes. A world of magic and mystery. A world we called Zephyr. Over a century has passed since the great exodus from the old world, and much has changed. Airships are slowly being replaced by the great ether ships, run by magical engines beating with the power of life itself. The Empire grows a little every day, rubbing against the Union and the mighty deserts, while the Sky Islands continue to drift. Zephyr remains the sole safe haven of life in the world, and here you are, caught in the middle of it all. But first, who are you? Where are you from? What makes you special? Race. Human. Humans, despite not being native to Zephyr, have settled in quite well. They are a hardy, durable sort, and refuse to give up when faced with adversity. Take pilot, navigator, or sailor for free. Automata. It was only 30 years ago that a certain human managed to crack the secret of mechanical life, and the automata were born, running off ether power. They have roughly human intellect and self-awareness, but are often a bit eccentric. Take one ether power for free, and you can't take cybernetics. Goblins. The Gobbos, native to Zephyr, may be tiny, but they are the smartest on the continent. Smug, condescending and brilliant, goblins fit right in with modern human academia. Goblins prefer dark areas and can see in the dark. Take scientist or engineer for free. Beastfolk. The Beastfolk, natives to Zephyr, are a strange and varied people. They range from being talking, thinking animals to humans with animal features. Most tend to be uneducated, but they are quick, agile, and can see in the dark. Take saboteur, assassin, or thief for free. Nationality. The Empire. The first human nation, the Empire has been the dominant force on Zephyr since humans first landed at the site that later became the capital of the Empire, New London. A controlling, powerful, militaristic state, the Empire is currently ruled by Emperor Fiero, a young, inexperienced ruler who is rumoured to be a brilliant strategist. The Empire has expanded across Zephyr relentlessly, pushing back the natives it barely tolerates, and it currently rules over 40% of the continent with its massive fleet of ether ships. They have held control since the Exodus, and maintain their iron-fisted ways in order to protect themselves and humanity. Currently, 3 million people live within the Empire's borders. The Union. The only nation truly rivaling the Empire, the Union of Aeria, is a democratic federation of a number of floating city-states, built into the floating islands that dot the continent. The Union is run by a council made up of elected leaders from each city-state, and the greatest of the city-states is Indela, one of the largest floating islands and the most stable. While the Union lacks in military might, it makes up for in the largest fleet of airships on the continent and its massive trade system. The Union treats the Beastfolk with respect and kindness, but most Aryans view the goblins with suspicion and mistrust. The Union houses somewhere around 900,000 people. Cogwork. A nation of refugees and outcasts, Cogwork was founded by a large group of engineers and inventors who were tired of working for the strict, domineering empire. The province of Cogwork is a very cold, mountainous area, and the city of Cogwork itself is built into the largest mountain on the continent, Mount Tshirt. The province is also very mineral rich, and Cogwork has used these minerals to their advantage, building underground railway systems and massive mining operations. Cogwork is ruled by a council of the brightest scientists and engineers the city has to offer. The province adores the goblins, but views the Beastfolk as liars and thieves. Currently, 300,000 people live in the province. Lys. The only nation ruled by the natives. The Republic of Lys is protected from the Empire by mountains and rainforests to the north, as well as cold deserts and tundras to the west. The people of Lys were at roughly ancient Greek levels of tech before the humans came, and thanks to the goblins, quickly caught up. The capital of Lys is Lysander, a large and beautiful city. The people of Lys tend to keep to themselves and viciously defend their rich farming lands and fertile valleys with guerrilla tactics and stealth. The current ruler of Lys is Queen Nephte, rumoured to be a powerful mage, skilled in both ether and null. It is estimated that there are up to 600,000 people in Lys. The frontier. The frontier of Zephyr is wide and varied, stretching from the mighty Alhos mountain range in the west to the thick, wet Nemo rainforest in the far east. But most of the frontier is stored in the Acolyth Wastes, a huge stretch of land that starts at the edge of the Nemo rainforest with a small mountain range, then transforms into deserts and canyons, and finally into cold tundra in the southwestern wastes. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of small towns and settlements that live in these areas, free from the Empire and the other nations. These are lawless lands where the strongest make the rules, where only the mighty and tough survive. There is no leader of the wastes, and there is estimated to be over 100,000 people living in the wastes. Occupation. Pirate. You belong to no nation, follow no god. You belong only to yourself. You will attack, plunder, and do whatever the fuck you want, because you have the power to do so. Privateer. You are employed by one of the 4 nations to attack, plunder, and steal ships owned by the other 3. You have stricter morals and more oversight than a pirate, but not by much. Adventurer. You travel the known world not for money, but for the very thrill of exploration. You will chart the wastes and the floating islands, uncovering the mysteries of Zephyr. Treasure Hunter. Like the adventurer, you sail the skies looking for the uncharted and unexplored, but you do so for the riches, for treasures rare and unique, for wealth and fame. Trader. You go where profit takes you. Finding and selling your goods is the only thing that matters to you, and who knows where you will go, or who you will meet next. Hero. Your goal is altruism. You shall work to bring down pirates and villainy wherever it may pop up, and help people you come across as much as you can. Now that we know who you are, where you're from and what you do, let's talk about exactly what you can do. What exactly sets you apart from other sky captains? Let's talk about what makes you special. Choose one. You. You can now choose one of the special locked powers in the trade section, plus an additional trait, for free. Your gear. You now have access to 3 incredibly powerful magical artifacts in the items section, but you can only choose 2. Your ship. Your ship is a brand new prototype, a nether ship. You can select an additional ship upgrade, and all companions only cost 1 point. Your crew. Your crew is the best of the best, allowing you access to the special companions and giving you an extra 6 crew points. Traits. Choose 2 traits. Pilot. You are now a master of piloting every plane, airship and flying vessel known to man, as well as every land and water vehicle. Navigator. Every map, every compass, every telescope and astrolabe. You can use them all like a pro. You can even make your own maps, as you are now a master cartographer. Sailor. You know every inch of an airship like the back of your hand. You will always see when something is going wrong with your ship, and you are a master swimmer. Scientist. You are now a brilliant scientist with advanced knowledge in chemistry, physics and mathematics, both in the theoretical and the application. Engineer. You could disassemble and reassemble a combustion engine with your eyes closed, and you are a master of robotics and cybernetics. Doctor. You are a brilliant and educated biologist. You know every part of the body like your own hand, and you are a masterful, delicate surgeon. Saboteur. You can see the tiny weaknesses in almost any structure, and you instantly know how to take it apart, and you are a master at building and using explosives. Assassin. You are now a silent killer, a master of moving through the shadows and across rooftops with utmost silence, and killing without anyone ever noticing. Thief. You are now a master thief, able to parkour and grapple up buildings, pick almost any lock, and your fingers are so quick, you could pickpocket almost anyone. Soldier. You now have significant combat training from a professional military, and you are a skilled marksman, sharpshooter, and quick draw. Warrior. You are now a master at melee and unarmed combat. You are proficient in several different martial arts of your choice, and you are a master with throwing knives. Athlete. You are now at peak human condition. You are an Olympic level sprinter, powerlifter, javelin thrower, and you have huge amounts of stamina. Mr. Hyde. Requires special. You. You are injected with a special formula that changes your body. Now, when your body floods with adrenaline, you will gain immense strength, speed and durability, enough to run faster than a horse, lift an elephant, and block bullets with your bare skin. This state also causes you to lose focus and become enveloped in your rage. Sorcerer. Requires special. You. You now gain every single power under either Aether or under Null. You also gain mastery in using all of your powers, and you can draw off either the Aether or the Null around you to boost your healing. Tesla. Requires special. You. You can now generate and store an electrical charge equal to roughly 1/4 of a lightning bolt, as well as fire it off from your hands, electrify your skin, or use it to fry nearby electrical devices. You can drain electrical power from devices through touch, or charge them up, and you are completely immune to electrocution. Cybernetics. From now on, we will be using points. Take 8 points to use for the rest of this page. You cannot use these points on any other page. Limbs, 2 points. With just one purchase, you can replace any or all of your limbs with mechanical versions, with greater strength at the cost of frequent maintenance. Spine. Your spine is now reinforced with a powerful, durable replacement that is far harder to break and enhances your body's reaction times. Heart, 2 points. You gain a replacement heart that is 200% more efficient than your current heart. This significantly boosts your stamina. Lungs, 2 points. Your lungs are now replaced with enhanced versions that can hold almost twice as much air and will use it far more efficiently. Magic. Ether. Ether is the magic of life and only appears when near the earth. The closer to the ground you are, the stronger ether becomes. Ether is generally used to heal, but it can also be used to manipulate the elements of fire and air, as well as control light and create illusions. Ether is incredibly safe to use, and ether ships work by converting ether nearby into usable energy. However, the nature of ether means that ether ships can only go so high before they lose speed, and eventually all power. Ether is so safe to use, however, that it takes large amounts of training and willpower to be able to use ether offensively. Light manipulation, 2 points. You can now generate blasts of blinding light, and you can not be blinded by light. You can also weave illusions out of light. Healing, 2 points. You can now manipulate ether to heal yourself and others, greatly boosting a person's natural healing ability, and even including limb regrowth. Fire manipulation, 3 points. You can now generate blasts of fire hot enough to melt lead, throw fireballs and streams of fire, and you are highly resistant to heat. Air manipulation, 3 points. You can now manipulate air, allowing you to fire off blasts of concussive, hurricane force winds, as well as float down slowly. Null. Null is the opposite of ether, and is strongest outside of the Earth's atmosphere. The higher you are, the stronger Null becomes. Null is generally used to destroy. Null can be used to poison the land, manipulate shadows and darkness, counter ether, and manipulate objects using the mind. Null is incredibly dangerous to use, as even a little ether will cause it to react violently and randomly. Null ships A very rare and dangerous type of ship work by converting null energy into usable energy. However, due to the nature of null, ships must get rather high before they begin to pick up speed. Null field, 2 points. You can now generate a small field with a radius of 5 meters, inside which no ether magic can exist. Shadow manipulation, 2 points. You can now fire off blasts of darkness that can blind and sap people of their strength. You can also wrap yourself in darkness to become invisible. Telekinesis, 3 points. You can mess with gravity to lift and move matter weighing up to twice your weight, and accelerate it up to 50 miles per hour. Intangibility, 3 points. You can now turn into darkness, phasing through walls, doors, and even walking on water. This state can last for up to 1 minute. Gear. Choose 3 items to add to your gear. Special items do not count towards your gear limit. Sword. A sharp, durable sword that can fire off blasts of flame. Grappling glove. This special gauntlet can fire a grappling claw that you can use to quickly ascend structures, and it has a hidden retractable blade. Power fist. A pneumatic steam fist that dramatically increases your punching power. Revolver. This heavy revolver is one of the most powerful chemical handguns in the world, firing .50 caliber rounds hard enough to punch a large hole through anyone. Assault rifle. This efficient, durable, easy to reload gun fires 5.56mm rounds at very high speeds and is well known for being able to survive almost anything. Sniper rifle. This sniper rifle is perfect for both masters and beginners due to its high quality and extensive customizability. Energy pistol. This small gun can fire a ball of energy that detonates upon impact with the force of a stick of dynamite. Tesla rifle. The core gun Tesla rifle uses magnets to hurl spikes at incredibly high speeds, but is prone to overheating. Zeus rifle. This long-range energy rifle can fire a bolt of lightning every 30 seconds by heating up air into plasma, and can hit a target up to 100 meters away. Sunder. Requires special gear. A forging hammer built by the ancients, Sunder is all but unbreakable. The head can heat up to white-hot temperatures at will, and you are immune to all thermal damage while holding it. Aegis. Requires special gear. A magic suit of armor built by the ancients. This suit is bulletproof, can absorb and redirect electricity, triples your strength, and the Aegis can be lifted by the wings of Icarus. Wings of Icarus. Requires special gear. A magic harness built by the ancients that carries 2 retractable bulletproof wings that allow you to fly up to 60 miles per hour. While the wings are out, your eyesight and reaction times become much greater. Ship. Choose 1 ship type. Each type requires certain roles, which can be filled by you or your crew. Airship. The classic airship is a ship strapped to a balloon with a combustion engine powering a number of turbines. Simple and popular, and somewhat outdated, but can maintain its speed at any height. Requires pilot and sailor. Ether ship. The ether ship is powered by an ether engine, which allows a frigate to go over 100 miles an hour, but as it rises in height, it slowly loses speed. Requires pilot, engineer, and sailor. Null ship. The null ship is a rare, new, dangerous ship powered by null energy. It is very slow in takeoff and ascent, but is even faster than ether ships once you get above the clouds. Null is volatile, so be careful. Requires pilot, engineer, and scientist. Nether ship. Requires special ship. An experimental prototype ship, the Nether ship has both a null engine and an ether engine, and thus can go max speed at any height, and can even enter orbit. Requires pilot, engineer, and scientist. Ship size. Choose 1 ship size. Each size requires a number of crew members. More crew equals fewer companions. Sloop. This tiny ship is built for speed and speed alone. It mainly operates as a scout ship, and cannot hold much crew, cargo or weapons, but it is excellent for travel and for couriers. Ship upgrades available: 2. Minimum crew size: 2 squads. Frigate. This modest ship is popular with traders as it balances speed, size, carrying capacity, and defensive ability. It is slower than the sloop, of course, but is still a pretty fast ship. Ship upgrades available: 3. Minimum crew size: 4 squads. Cruiser. Large, heavy, and armed to the teeth, this ship is designed for war. It boasts heavy armour plating and plenty of gun mounts, but is very slow compared to other ships. Ship upgrades available: 4. Minimum crew size: 6 squads. Dreadnought. Requires special ship. Massive, deadly, and imposing. Even the Empire only has a handful of these beasts. Stretching almost a quarter-mile long, this behemoth is slow as hell, but packs a mean punch. Ship upgrades available: 6. Minimum crew size: 8 squads. Ship basics. These are the essentials of your ship, no matter the size. Flight deck. The flight deck contains a wide view of the world, the main steering system, a radio and a compass, plus a few maps and system readouts. Crew quarters. The crew quarters are modest, with most people sleeping in bunk beds and eating in the mess hall, which has a kitchen. There are rooms for officers. Cargo hold. Big and reinforced, the cargo hold will contain all of your treasure, gear, and any vehicles the ship has, but it can only store 1. Engine room. The main engine is an advanced boiler engine, but depending on the ship, it shares a room with an ether or null engine. Upgrades. You can choose 1 weapon for free. All upgrades require slots based on size. Command deck. An upgrade to the flight deck. The command deck is much larger and has much better, more intuitive controls, as well as a basic autopilot. Crew rooms. An upgrade to the crew quarters. Each crew member gets their own personal room, boosting morale and loyalty. Includes officers' quarters. Hangar bay. An upgrade to the cargo hold. The hangar bay allows you to carry as many vehicles as you want. Comms room. The comms room is full of advanced, powerful radios that can pick up almost any signal and follow it. Library. The library contains tens of thousands of books, new and old, on any subject you could think of. Perfect for passing the time. Kitchens. The large kitchens can cook luxury foods for your crew and greatly improve morale. You can also store a lot more food. Workshop. Full of spare parts, tools and blueprints, the workshop is the inventor's dream. Perfect for any engineer to tinker. Navigation room. The navigation room is full of maps, astrolabes, compasses, and other state-of-the-art nav gear to help you find your way around. Heavy artillery. Heavy mobile artillery that reloads 3 times as slowly as a cannon, but hits 3 times harder. Cannons. Your ship is loaded with dozens of cannons. Simple, easy to use, and easy to resupply. Cannons are the staple of ship warfare. Machine gun turrets. Several automatic Gatling turrets will be placed on your ship. These fire quickly and are powerful against light armor, but tend to overheat. Plasma cannon. A beautiful main gun. The plasma cannon fires 3 balls of plasma at high speeds, but it overheats after firing and takes 5 minutes to cool off. Monocycle. The monocycle is a fast, light bike that can carry a single person across moderate terrain. It's best for urban environments. Hovercraft. The hovercraft is a clunky, fast, all-terrain vehicle that can house 2 people and has a machine gun mounted on the back. Interceptor. A fast, powerful airplane. The Interceptor is deployed to destroy missiles and enemy aircraft with machine guns and plasma cannons. Dropship. The dropship is a large, heavy ship that can carry to a dozen people and deploy them in dangerous areas. Ethereum hull. Requires special, ship. Your ship's hull is made of Ethereum, a rare metal both lighter and more durable than steel, able to take most cannon shafts with little more than light dents. Any sails or balloon you may have is also far tougher. Spirit of Wind. Requires special, ship. Your engine is now infused with the Spirit of Wind, making it much faster, up to the average speed of a smaller ship, i.e. a dreadnought, would be as fast as a cruiser, and your ship can now turn invisible for a short time. Crew. Each squad costs 1 point. Every squad counts as half of a sailor roll. You have 10 points. Mercenaries. Mercenaries aren't the most loyal, but they tend to be reasonably skilled and easy to find and hire. Squad size, 10. Squad race choices, human and beastfolk. Cogwork warriors. Built in cogwork, these automata are powerful, durable fighters, but are rather chatty for a bunch of killbots. Squad size, 5. Engineers. Incredibly intelligent and skilled, these engineers will keep your ship and engine under control and in the sky. Squad size, 3. Squad race choices, human and goblin. Lease warriors. Agile and skilled, yet unusually uneducated, these beastfolk make for excellent scouts, warriors, or boarders. Squad size, 8. Empire soldiers. Certainly the most skilled and disciplined soldiers on the continent, Imperial soldiers are very reluctant to go against the Empire. Squad size, 10. Magi. Powerful and educated, Magi are masters in either ether, and are thus healers, or null, and are thus fighters. Squad size, 3. Squad role choices, ether or null. Aryan traders. Smart, quick-witted, diplomatic and very charismatic, traders are excellent negotiators and are helpful for getting into strict ports. Squad size, 3. Squad race choices, human, beastfolk or goblin. Scouts. Scouts are quick on their feet, masters of speed and have eagle eyes. They are perfect couriers and watchers and can pilot any vehicles you have. Squad size, 5. Squad race choices, human and beastfolk. Amazons. This group of mercenaries are composed solely of skilled, highly trained women, who don't take any shit, and are surprisingly strong and brutal in combat. Squad size, 8. Vikings. These rogue raiders come from the cold southern wastes and are strong, brave and unusually clean despite their savage fighting styles. Squad size, 8. Skeletons. Held together by magic, these skeletal warriors are loyal and perfect at following orders, but are very simple-minded. Squad size, 10. Ninjas. Sneaky masters of stealth and murder. Ninjas these days sell their services to the highest bidder, typically used in the Empire, hired by nobles to kill each other. Squad size, 5. Companions. Each companion costs 2 points, and you will use your crew points to pay. Sir Maxwell Yardley. Role, soldier, warrior. A former high-ranking, highly decorated Imperial soldier, Maxwell Yardley was granted knighthood for his heroic deeds by the current Emperor, and retired soon after, but quickly became restless. He decided to explore the continent, and soon came to realize just how bad people have it outside of the Empire. He resolved himself, donned a suit of armor, and became a true knight, helping and saving people wherever he can with his boisterous attitude and strict moral code. Oxford Langstaff. Role, scientist, and mage. A young, brilliant mage, Oxford has devoted his life to studying the ancients who inhabited Zephyr millennia ago. He joined your crew in order to see the world and explore the ruins of the ancients for himself. A quiet, studious, withdrawn man, Oxford only comes out of his shell when discussing theories, debating, or playing chess. Oxford is also an excellent strategist and a powerful mage, focusing on telekinesis. Atlas. Role, soldier. A state-of-the-art automaton, Atlas was born in cogwork as an elite soldier, and served out his years with distinction. After being honourably discharged, he developed a thirst for travel and knowledge, and along the way, a love of architecture and art. With a body of steel and a shoulder-mounted cannon, Atlas is a force to be reckoned with. Like all automata, he is a bit odd. He is very boisterous and loud, often acting the part of a great hero, coming to save the world from evil. Virginia Silver. Role: Doctor. Born to a modest family of jewelers, Virginia wanted more out of her life, so she got a degree at the University of Indela. Joining the area military right after graduation, Virginia was a dedicated field medic and skilled surgeon, but most of all, she was a kind and caring nurse. She left area after she decided that there were people who needed her help on the frontier, and she believes it is her duty to help as many people as she can. She has military training, but is something of a pacifist. Lyra Archer. Role: Pilot or Warrior. Lyra Archer is a pilot turned pirate, after the Aryan military kicked her out for starting too many fights with her fellow airship pilots, but she was one of their best. Lyra is a cocky, suave, charming, flirty rogue with a short temper and a very loud voice, and tends to cut people who cross her. She is also an expert swordswoman, and has a pet monkey named Chimmy, who happens to be exceptionally smart. Lyra only cares about two things: money and having a good time. Parson. Role: Pilot or Engineer. Parson is a gruff old beastfolk, as well as master of engines and a surprisingly damn good pilot despite his tiny size, which he dislikes people mentioning. An experienced airship pilot, he will keep your ship afloat as long as you keep him paid. He tends to keep to himself and runs a very strict ship, constantly yelling out orders to the crew. He strongly dislikes Imperials and pompous jerks who act high and mighty. Anastasia Griffith. Role: Saboteur and Soldier. Born to a modest yet loving family of farmers, Anastasia lost it all when pirates raided her farmstead, and her family was killed. She was then raised by her grandfather, an old soldier who taught her to wield a gun like a master. She is an expert sharpshooter and marksman, one of the best in the world. Anastasia is a quiet, determined, fierce, intense person who loathes pirates and will kill any she can. She secretly, deep down, craves a new group to call her family. Gwendolyn Mercy. Role: Engineer and Athlete. Daughter of a popular cogwork engineer, Gwen hopes to make a name for herself one day. She is a master of Tesla coils and electrical engineering, as well as a superb athlete and acrobat. She can make and maintain lots of cool gadgets for you, like Tesla pistols and grappling hooks. Gwen is a very cautious, careful, methodical person, and is a very good strategist. She is also somewhat paranoid, often making backup plans and carefully planning objectives out. Armon. Role: Warrior and Athlete. A violent pirate and killer for hire, this beastman is only truly out for himself. As long as he gets paid, there's nothing he won't do. He is a very powerful warrior and a decent mechanic, as he repairs and keeps his cybernetic arm functional by himself. He is stronger than any human and is willing to play as dirty as possible to win a fight. He has a short temper and is very gruff, dedicated, and intense. Caesar. Role: Saboteur and Engineer. This beastman was raised in the nobility of Lys and is thus used to the finer things in life and has lots of money. Caesar, despite this, craves adventure and intrigue, and thus explores the world, seeing all he can. He built his own cybernetic wing and is an expert in engines, cybernetic limbs, and explosives. He is kind of pompous, very forward, and is not afraid to speak his mind. This does mean he is kind of an asshole, but he is very dedicated and committed to his work. Gillian. Role: Saboteur and Engineer. An old yet very spiry inventor, Gillian is a weapons master and can keep all of your gear working perfectly. He is somewhat insane and has frequent bouts of random mania where he spends days straight working on some random invention that may or may not work, or even have any purpose. Gillian is also a master of explosives and can make any bomb or grenade your heart desires. He is a sarcastic, yappy old man who enjoys playing pranks and telling jokes. Cordelia. Role: pilot and navigator. A famous smuggler, Cordelia is well known for being able to transport banned goods in and out of Lys. This slippery, clever beast woman is one of the best pilots in the skies and will do almost anything for money. She is rather self-assured and smug, but her skills more than make up for her personality. Her personal specialty is quick getaways and negotiating her way into strict ports with her silver tongue and good looks. She has no combat skills other than being a very skilled gunner. Jessie. Role: doctor or soldier. This foxwoman is an uneducated farmer, but don't let that fool you. She's an excellent field medic, veterinarian, and a pretty decent markswoman and sharpshooter. After a drought, she left her family's farm in order to work as a mercenary, and she sends most of her money back to her home to help them out. A bubbly, sweet, kind-hearted optimist, Jessie is a very friendly person who loves camaraderie and friendship, and will try and make friends out of everyone on your crew. Newton Dawkins. Role: engineer or warrior. This cogwork engineer is obsessed with rebuilding the tools of the ancients. He even found a prototype Aegis suit that boosts his strength to peak human levels and can take bullets with little to no issue. However, it frequently breaks down and needs constant care and maintenance. He doesn't mind, however, he loves it. Newton is a kind, gentle man who loves animals and tries to see the best in life as a genuine optimist, something rather rare in Zephyr. Belle Adler. Role: doctor, mage. A brilliant and beautiful biologist, Belle Adler is studying the effects of ether on plant growth and has figured out how to induce fruit growth using ether. She is currently trying to develop a new kind of sturdy, fast-growing plant that will rapidly grow in deforested areas, and maybe even the wastes. Belle is very touchy about her plants, and is willing to help heal your people if you provide her with samples and a place to work. Show enough interest, and you might become a friend of hers. Livia Lygon. Role: assassin. Born in the Empire and raised by ninjas, Livia spent most of her life being trained as an expert assassin, and did her job very well. Eventually she grew tired of killing nobles, and craved something more with her life, a change in scenery, so she became a mercenary. Livia is a master of silent kills and crafting potions, as well as curing them. She is aloof and withdrawn, preferring to keep to herself and ready whatever book she can get her hands on. She pretends not to care, but secretly does. Mary Viner. Role: mage. A noblewoman from the Empire, Mary is a powerful null user who specializes in telekinetic manipulation. She decided that the Empire was no place for her gifts, rather than let them stifle and grow dull, decided to explore and join your crew to focus and use them. She is a somewhat pompous, smug, self-assured woman due to her noble upbringing. She is also a veritable sadist, who deeply enjoys hurting others. We'll have to rein her in at times, but she'll be quite useful, as she is a master of torture and coercion. Oliver Dunn. Role: thief. A poor orphan who grew up on the streets of New London, Oliver was forced to live his life as a pickpocket and a thief, and quickly became one of the best. He despises the nobility of the Empire, and became a Robin Hood, stealing from them and giving to his fellow poor people. He is a casual, laid-back, sarcastic man who takes everything in life with a shrug and a smile. He has dreams of finding others like him and starting up a guild of thieves. Emerson Bray. Role: soldier. Emerson Bray is a man who's lived his life on the frontier and has seen almost everything the Wastes have to offer, from deadly mechafauna to clockwork liches. He is a very gruff, harsh, hardened, pessimistic old man who has lived his life out in the Wastes as a sheriff to one of the larger, savoured towns out in the desert. He eventually got tired of sitting around doing jack shit and decided to go on one last adventure and do something with his life. August Redmond. Role: soldier and sailor. A former Aryan privateer, August retired to the outskirts of the Union to live a quiet life with his wife and kids, but got pulled back into the fray when his family was murdered by bandits. After hunting them all down, he now wanders looking for a new purpose in life. He is a surprisingly polite man and tries to see the best out of every situation, but he obviously is a very tired man as well and has seen a lot. He is a crack shot and an expert fighter and sailor. Rosie. Role: assassin. Built for web work, Rosie is a master killer and a deadly combatant, slicing opponents into pieces with her razor-sharp claws. Rosie has no gripes about killing anyone and anything that gets in her way. She has an equal amount of disdain for seemingly all non-automata, but often shows a healthy respect for skilled engineers. Rosie is a very deadpan, sarcastic, aloof and dismissive person who often gripes about things she doesn't like and frequently complains. Eold, role, scientist and engineer. Easily one of the smartest goblins on the continent, Eold is a master engineer in every form, but prefers working on shipped engines and spends her spare time building new ones. She also greatly enjoys debating, lectures, chess, poker, and she's a decent singer. Eold loves what she does and gets paid well for it, her dream come true. She is a cheery, chipper, upbeat person with lots of optimism and a positive outlook on life. Rowena Carton. Requires special, crew. Role, engineer, warrior and athlete. Rowena is a brilliant young inventor, and is actually the granddaughter of the famous inventor who built the automata. A shy, soft-spoken girl, Rowena has lived in her grandfather's shadow her whole life, and is an expert in powered armor. She hopes to one day build a full suit of truly powered armor that can create a new breed of soldier. She wears her prototype powered arms, which boost her strength to superhuman levels. Dr. Bartholomew Cronovan. Requires special, crew. Role, doctor, warrior, engineer, and scientist. This dark genius has travelled Zephyr for decades, studying in search of his endless quest to cure every disease in the known world, ever since he lost his entire family to a plague when he was young. A very skilled swordsman and engineer, Bartholomew built a powerful blade that can cut through people like butter. Bartholomew is a very strict, serious person who finds it hard to relax and let himself take breaks, as he is obsessed with his quest. Felicia. Requires special, crew. Role, saboteur, assassin, thief, and mage. This beast woman is incredibly sneaky, sly, flirty, and most of all, loves adventure and thrill. Felicia is also a very carefree, playful, laid-back, easygoing person. Few outside of Lys know that she is the daughter of Queen Nephte, and is thus Princess of Lys, but she does not wish for the responsibility of being princess. She wishes to travel the world, fighting bad guys and stealing whatever she wants, all for the thrill of it. Felicia is also a skilled null user, especially in shadow manipulation. Persephone Canning. Requires special, crew. Role, doctor, scientist, and mage. This brilliant woman refers to herself as a witch doctor, someone who combines the powers of science and magic and studies both. Persephone is a very educated person, and is currently studying the long-term effects of Null on the human body. She is adept in both Ether and Null, and is a skilled doctor and surgeon. Persephone is a charming, sophisticated person who enjoys the finer things in life, especially wine. She enjoys reading and research, and will be overjoyed if you help her in her studies. Mysteries. Zephyr is full of mystery and wonder. It is up to you whether you wish to explore these mysteries or not. The Ancients. The continent of Zephyr was once inhabited by an advanced civilization of humans, known to modern scholars as the Ancients. They lived on Zephyr roughly 3,000 years ago, and manipulated the fauna, flora, and the very land with their advanced technology. They were adept with the manipulation of ether. It is theorized that they manipulated their own genetic structure and created both the goblins and the beastfolk, likely as either a form of cheap labour and or as some kind of pets or experimentation. There are only a handful of ancient sites remaining on the mainland, most located in Lys or in Cogwork, while the rest are located on the dozens of floating islands that dot the continent. Currently no ancient city has ever been found, and it is unknown what caused their downfall. The Mechafauna. Built by the ancients, the Mechafauna are various large mechanical beasts that act just like animals and are powered by ether. These creatures were the source of inspiration for the automata. Some Mechafauna are rather peaceful, some are very territorial, and some actively hunt humans, goblins and beastfolk, but oddly enough tend to ignore automata unless attacked. Mechafauna are very dangerous, tough and strong, and it will take dozens of armed soldiers to bring one down. Mechafauna can be found all over Zephyr, but most live in the wastes. The Clockwork Undead. These walking skeletons were a constant danger in the wastes, as they are little more than mindless shambling warriors that attack any sapient being they come across, animated through dark null magics and strange clockwork cybernetics. They can be pacified, and even tamed using null magic. There are a few sapient, self-aware undead known as liches. These beings are usually somewhat insane and are very volatile. Only a handful have ever been found and have taken artillery strikes from airships to be put down due to their powerful null magics. It is believed they have some connection to the ancients. Floating islands. There are dozens if not hundreds of small floating islands that dot the continent of Zephyr. The largest can stretch up to 24 miles in diameter, and the smallest can be only large enough to fit a small house on. They tend to drift along the coastline of Zephyr, moving at a few hundred feet a day, several hundred feet above the ground. Some drift a little higher, some a little lower. The largest ones tend to congregate in the area that is our area, and people have built their cities upon them because they drift very slowly and only do so along the rivers of area, not along the coast. It is unknown how these islands float, and what secrets some hold. The Great Death. Roughly 2 centuries ago, the world began to die. Starting in the east, all crops started to wither as the weather got more and more erratic. Water became polluted, livestock and people fell ill as the world slowly died. People began to emigrate en masse towards the west, towards Europe, the last to fall to the Great Death. Luckily, some people foresaw this would happen, and as millions gathered on the shores of England and France, the airships were waiting, and so the people migrated west across the sea and found Zephyr. Every expedition to the old world has revealed nothing but death. But what was the Great Death? Why is Zephyr safe from it?